Hey guys, it's July 2025. I'm going to be reading July 14th, week of. And I just want to say before I started recording, I listened to one of the most recent episodes of Arthur Schwartz's podcast, The Food Maven. I don't know if you guys have ever listened to that, but I listened to it years ago. When I re-listened to it, I realized how close in format it was. It's about a half an hour. It's just him talking. It's him talking to somebody on a phone. The recording is really rough. The person on the other end of the line doesn't really get to talk, but it's just him talking about what he ate that week. And I wonder if this subconsciously has influenced me in how I've chosen to make this podcast. I'll say the best part of the podcast is the square image, and I don't know if this is intentional or not, but the podcast icon that a podcast has, that square image that shows up on the Apple or the Spotify app or wherever you listen. His is so, I want to say, like alternative skater hip hop 2017 album cover. And I don't know if it's a mistake or if it's intentional, but it's mostly just dark green with a tiny photograph of him in the center, surrounded by empty glasses, flash on. I mean, it's just so like New York skater photographer. It makes me laugh. I would love to know if it's intentional or not. Arthur Schwartz, reach out if you are listening. Okay. July 14th, 2025. It's Monday. 6:30 a.m. Leftover coffee with half and half and a bowl of bran flakes with milk. 10:30 a.m. A cup of coffee with half and half, a handful of mixed nuts with dried cranberries, and a strawberry grain bar at UNC Press. 4 p.m. Multigrain crackers with pepper jack cheese. 6:30 p.m. Fried tofu and golden sauce with cabbage, jalapenos, carrots, and onion over jasmine rice made at home. 7:30 p.m. Bluebell cookies and cream ice cream. Pretty normal day. I gotta say, this mixed nuts with dried cranberries. I get this mix at Whole Foods. They have a pretty good selection of mixed nuts in those plastic trapezoid containers that you'll find at a grocery store or an airport. The mixed nuts are salted, and the salt ends up sticking to the dried cranberries. So the dried cranberries end up being pretty salty, and I don't know if I like it or not, but I think in small amounts, it's okay. This is a pretty standard day. Our fridge is full of cabbage from the field, so I'm making a lot of stir fry with cabbage, and we have our jalapenos are coming in, so that's going in there. And last time I went to Sam's Club, I got a huge bag of basmati, huge bag of jasmine rice. So I'm focusing on rice. I'm focusing on potatoes and Bluebell cookies and cream ice cream. Went back to cookies and cream. Sometimes they run out of cookie two-step at my Food Line because I'm buying it all. And so I have to go back to cookies and cream. I like to let it melt. And something I realized about eating cookies and cream ice cream is that I'm too afraid to buy a pack of Oreos because I know I'll eat them all. So my compromise is to eat cookies and cream ice cream and limit myself to the number of cookies that I'm eating in that scoop of ice cream. But it really just feels like I'm working around the ice cream to get to those cookies. I wish there was some sort of vending machine I could have in my home that only dispensed a certain number of Oreos at a time. I think that would be a pretty good solution. Okay, July 15th, 2025, Tuesday. 9 a.m., Brooklyn Lab coffee with half and half made at home and Havarti dill cheese with multigrain crackers. 1 p.m., leftover tofu and vegetables over rice. 4 p.m., a scoop of Bluebell cookies and cream ice cream. 6:30 p.m., Potato soup with kale, harissa, jalapeno olive oil, and chives made at home. Havarti dill cheese. I remember the first time I was still living in New York. It was probably 2013, 14. And I went to the deli counter and they had sliced Havarti dill cheese. And I thought it was the most innovative product. And it's probably the best cheese. It's mild, it's soft. It's like a non-processed Velveeta. I love it. This potato soup with kale harissa. Okay, so this is a riff on a New York Times recipe. I think it's called golden potato and greens soup. It's very highly rated on the New York Times cooking app. And I think the original recipe has turmeric in it, which is why it's golden. I just don't like turmeric. But I do have all these potatoes to use up, and I have a drawer full of kale from the garden, so it seemed like the perfect recipe. I have some harissa that I used, toasted that in the beginning, and I finished it with this jalapeno and herb olive oil. I think it's called pizza oil. I forget the brand, but I got it last Christmas from my mother, and finished it with chives. It's pretty good. You'd have to water it down a little bit to reheat because it sort of just turns into a mash. But overall, I liked it. Great recipe. The original recipe is vegan. I did use chicken stock, however. Homemade chicken stock, which I am due to make a new batch of. I think I'm down to my last quart. Okay. July 16th, 2025. It's a Wednesday. 6:30 a.m. Leftover coffee with half and half and a bowl of bran flakes with milk. 10:30 a.m. A cup of coffee with half and half and leftover tofu and vegetables over rice at UNC Press. 6 p.m. Leftover potato soup with chives and fried chicken tenders over romaine lettuce with Parmesan and creamy Caesar dressing made at home. 7:30 p.m. A small bowl of Bluebell Southern Blackberry Cobbler flavored ice cream. All right, so I clearly went to Food Lion that day. And got some chicken tenders to put over salad. My go-to. They didn't have Nashville hot flavored, and I got the last container of fresh fried chicken tenders. Let's see. Bran flakes in the morning. I like eating bran flakes in the morning, and I'm eating the Whole Foods store brand. They're pretty good, and I think they're organic, and they're very affordable. Drink it. I have it with whole milk. Keeps my grocery bills down, I'll tell you. Store brand cereal. Okay, I guess I should talk about this Bluebell Southern Blackberry Cobbler flavored ice cream. I've been waiting for this. Didn't know if it would hit my Food Line or not, but it is really good. It is extremely creamy. The blackberry, it just tastes exactly like eating a cobbler or a crumble. And there are flaky pie crust pieces in it that somehow retain their flakiness. And there's just a hint of cinnamon. It's a great flavor. It could use like some lemon or something maybe a little bit tart, but overall it's a hit. We do have a couple quarts of blueberries in the fridge from Brian's work that I keep meaning to make a crumble with. I like to do that in the summer with the fresh. You got to do it when the blueberries are fresh, because I've tried with frozen and I don't freeze them correctly. I don't have a manufacturing freezing operation, so you can just taste the freezer. You got to use the fresh fruit for the best experience, and it is just you do like a simple oat and butter, and a little bit of flour and cinnamon and salt, plenty of salt, crumble on top of the blueberries, and some vanilla ice cream. But I was thinking I could make that and then put the Southern Blackberry Cobbler ice cream on the blueberry crumble. And I think that would be perfect. on a hot summer day. So I'm considering that. All right. July 17th, 2025, Thursday, 9 a.m. Brooklyn Lab coffee with half and half made at home and dill Havarti with multigrain crackers. 1 p.m. A small bowl of Bluebell cookies and cream ice cream. 3 p.m. 2 hard-boiled eggs made at home. 6 p.m. Chicken thighs and succotash made with tomato and butter sauce, cannellini beans, corn, and basil, and an olive oil toasted slice of sourdough made at home. These eggs, what is it? I guess the Durham and the Chapel Hill Whole Foods have these local eggs. It's an 18-pack for only $5. It's a steal, and it's orange yolks, dark orange yolks. I mean, they're beautiful. And when I overheard someone refer to it as the egg pandemic when we went to that McLean's restaurant, like, oh, egg prices are up because of the egg pandemic. But, when egg prices went up, they weren't available. So I've been waiting to get them back, and they're back, and they're reasonably priced. I think they're more than $5 now for the 18-pack, but it's worth it. It's the best deal around. It's called Lotta's Egg Ranch, local eggs, and they're just beautiful, and just having a hard-boiled one is nice. Chicken thighs and succotash in like a tomato butter sauce. This is something that I started making when I lived in Chicago. I don't know why. I think I was just trying to use up local summer ingredients, and it's sort of like a traditional succotash, but it's more saucy. It's more heavy on the tomato and butter. So it's somewhere between a soup and a succotash. And it's nice to have some crusty bread to go with it. And I like to put some spice in it. I think I put some heat in there, but yeah, it's I don't know, just something that reminds me of my last summer in Chicago. We're growing a lot of tomatoes on our roof and using them in that way. July 18th, 2025, Friday. Leftover coffee with half and half. 12 p.m. Chicken tenders with ranch, cheese curds, and a bacon ranch wrap from Cookout in Oxford, North Carolina. 2:30 p.m. A small bowl of Bluebell cookies and cream ice cream. 6 p.m. Leftover succotash with sourdough croutons and a hard-boiled egg with chives and pepper. 8 p.m. A scoop of Bluebell Southern Blackberry Cobbler ice cream. Wow. 2 ice creams in one day. And I restarted my Friday cookout trip. I gotta stop going to that cookout. We had another cookout open near us in the town over, and that one has more items on their menu. They have, you can add jalapeno to anything. You can get jalapeno cheese fries, and you can also get a walking taco, which I've seen in Durham locations. But yeah, so the Creedmoor, North Carolina, they have the walking taco. They have the expanded menu, and it seems to be the place to go. A lot of teens over there. The Oxford cookout, it's still hopping, but less so lately. I don't know what's going on. And the woman who works there is never happy to see me. At first she was, and I think I go there enough that she's over me. Another reason why I don't want to go there anymore is the cookout is surrounded by rose bushes. They're in like a strip mall that's owned by a large company. And all the rose bushes have rosette disease, which, if you don't know what that is, it's really bad. And it's spread through mites. You can't do anything. There's no cure. You have to destroy the plant. You have to burn it or throw it away. You can't even put it in compost. You need to get rid of it. And all of their, generic knockout roses, aka parking lot roses, are very diseased, and I don't like driving my car next to them because there's a decent chance, a mite could blow onto my car in the wind, and then I drive home, and then I have a ton of rose bushes. I collect somewhat rare and older roses that aren't commercially available anymore, and I cannot risk spreading the disease. So I have emailed people who manage the strip mall. I guess they're located in Indiana for some reason. And they seem to be on it. And they told me that they're going to remove the rose bushes. So we'll see. When they remove the rose bushes, I'll consider revisiting that cookout establishment. But I really can't risk it. I mean, there's nothing you can do. And it's a nasty, weird disease where the plant looks alien, and it's disgusting. But that bacon ranch wrap at Cookout is wonderful. They did have something on their sign. What did they say? Cajun chicken wrap or Cajun ranch wrap? I think it was Cajun chicken wrap, which I'm considering trying. And of course it's July, so they have the watermelon shake. The watermelon shake is, the seasonal shake of July that everyone runs to get. And it's good. You wouldn't... It doesn't appeal to me, but I've tasted it and it's good. And then they have an eggnog shake in December. And it's not on the menu, but they do have a pumpkin shake in October. You got to ask for it, though. They put a whole slice of pumpkin pie into the shake. And let's see. I've heard that some cookout locations have fried okra, but I've yet to see that. But I'll keep my eye out. Okay, July 19th, 2025. It's a Saturday. 8 a.m., Brooklyn Lab coffee with half and half, made at home. 10 a.m., an egg poached in leftover potato and kale soup with Parmesan, chives, and pepper, made at home. 2 p.m., half of a chicken shawarma, half of a beef and lamb shawarma, baba ganoush, hummus, and tabbouleh at Sassoul in Raleigh, North Carolina. 4 p.m., popcorn at Cinemark in Raleigh. 8 p.m., a handful of mini M&Ms. So it looks like I made it's not tomato-based, so it's not shashuka, but I made a shashuka improvised shashuka with my leftover potato soup. It was great. The Parmesan was really nice on it. And I buy that pre-shaved, pre-pulverized Parmesan for my Caesar salads that I like to make. I mean, I have real Parmesan in the house too, but it's so expensive, and sometimes you want that pre-shredded Parmesan taste. It's different. Brian really wanted to go see the new Superman movie, and it wasn't, we couldn't get a seat till 4:30 in Raleigh, but we were also starving, so we went and ate early. Sassoul, I mean, it's a family place. I think they have a couple locations, but they have a really good, everything I've eaten there is amazing. Their baba ganoush is lovely. They have a platter, and, with baba ganoush, hummus, tabbouleh, they have grape leaves. I don't usually eat them. I let Brian eat them, but they drizzle olive oil over it and give you olives, and it's also part grocery store, and they make fresh pita there, and they'll give you a bag of fresh pita with whatever you order. You just have to, they ask you want fresh pita, and they give you a bag. It's unbeatable. And the tahini based sauce that they give you with your shawarma is top notch. So, we finished eating around 2, and the movie wasn't until 4:30, so we went and we walked around the mall in Raleigh to kill time. I don't know what we were thinking, but that's what we did. And then we went to Cinemark in Raleigh to see Superman and ate popcorn. Asked for butter on it. There was a little bit of butter, but for movie theater popcorn, it was okay. I think we can make it better at home. I want that fake artificial buttered popcorn taste, and it was just sort of lacking at this Cinemark. But I will say they have those giant recliners, and you don't really have to sit next to anybody because the seats are so big. And I like that. Superman, I mean, I don't know why they keep making this movie. And I think each time they try and make it, they make it a little bit worse. I wouldn't recommend it. I think that we've gone too far in the special effects arena. I mean, I don't like superhero movies to begin with. I really went, the person I'm with wants to see this movie. We haven't even been to a movie since we left Chicago, and it's been years. So I thought, let's go to a movie and see what that's like. There's something about older movies where they weren't able to fully produce all of the visual effects that they wanted to, where some things had to be left to imagination, and there was some mystique or some things left unsaid because they couldn't just animate everything, flying dogs and what have you. I mean, I think I sort of miss that, and I miss the craft of the actual effects that they did have to make way back when, before they could just CGI everything. And it falls into the uncanny valley real quick, and I don't appreciate it. I think it's a waste of time. I mean, it's just like, it's basically AI at this point, and you could just make anything, and it's lost. It doesn't appeal to me whatsoever. So I didn't like the Superman movie. They made Lois Lane punk rock, or at least she described herself as just a punk rocker, which was really interesting. Yeah, it sucked. Can't believe how much money it's made. Well, I'm part of that reason. And you gotta love mini M&Ms. I mean, they just melt in a way that maybe you don't want, but that's what I'm looking for in an M&M's experience. Okay, July 20th, 2025, it's a Sunday. 9 a.m., Brooklyn Lab coffee with half and half made at home. 11 a.m., Dauphinoise with sardine paste and chives made at home. 2:30 p.m., Kung Pao chicken, Mongolian beef, shrimp and broccoli, Singapore-style noodles, pork fried rice, 3 dumplings, and a fortune cookie from China Walk in Creedmoor, North Carolina, at Brian's parents' house. 6 p.m., peanut M&Ms. Wow. Okay, so woke up early and was going to have a cooking day. Got to use those potatoes up, and got to use, we had a whole big, we had tens of pounds of tomatoes to use up. And, we're not selling them this year because, we're just both working more than ever, and we've had bad luck with the rain. They just crack in a way that they haven't cracked before. We got really lucky our first year with all our heirlooms, with the timing, and we just were able to sell beautiful heirlooms, and it just hasn't been so the past few years. And I don't know, something about tomatoes, sometimes they taste like garbage to me, but for the past 4 or 5 years, every summer, it's like all I eat is tomatoes and mayonnaise on toasted bread. And I haven't been doing that this summer for some reason. I think I don't know. I don't know. I'm falling off my tomato game. We're really falling off of our growing game now that we're working so much. But anyway, we got all these potatoes. And do you know that creator on Instagram? I guess I know her from TikTok, but I think she's also on Instagram. Her name is, I think, Corey Larkin? Coco Larkin? I don't know how to spell her name, or pronounce her name, but her first name is spelled Corre. She does a lot of, her thing is like, here's a French or an Italian recipe that you won't find in a restaurant. This is what real French and Italian people are eating in their home. And they're typically super heavy dishes, cream-based, a lot of potato. But I really like her style and her content. I don't know if I do like heavy cream dishes, but I don't know. I don't know if they're for me. So I took a risk and I made this Dauphinoise. I mean, I don't really like scalloped potatoes or heavy potato dishes in general. I think to make something like that, they're usually undersalted in a typical home, and you really need it to be heavily salted in order to cut through all of that, the potato and the cream. So anyway, she made a spin on a Julia Child's recipe. She put lemon in hers. I didn't have a lemon on hand, so I made this Dauphinoise. I mean, it's not the restaurant Dauphinoise where it's like paper thin, the thickness of a dime, and it pressed. It was a rustic, skin on, thinly sliced potatoes, 3 layers I used this tomato-based sardine paste. I cooked it in with the onions and layered it in between the potatoes, and then made a cream and egg to pour over the top. No garlic in the recipe, which I regret doing. If I would do it again, I would maybe leave out the sardine paste. She used anchovies. I didn't have any. I would leave out the fish, replace with garlic, and grate some garlic into that cream. Let the cream take on the garlic flavor a little bit more, and then do it that way. While I was making this, I was also making 2 pots of tomato sauce. A pot with ground beef and a pot just tomato. And my plan was to make eggplant parmesan, but then Brian's parents called, invited us over for Chinese food, so that's the direction we took. But now I have 6 quarts of tomato sauce. So actually tonight, it's the next week, but I'm going to make eggplant parm tonight. And with some Turkish eggplant that Brian grows at work and he brought home, and they're beautiful, and I need to use them. So there's sort of, it's a Johnny's seeds variety. The seed is from Johnny's, and the shape is somewhere between a Japanese eggplant and an Italian eggplant. It's globular but long, so it's thicker than a Japanese but thinner than an Italian. It looks like a good uniform long eggplant. So that's the plan. And while I was making this dueling potato and tomato, it smelled like an Uno pizzeria. Do you know that Chicago chain? I don't know if I've even been. No, I've been to one. They had them in the mall growing up. I mean, they kind of don't anymore, but it reminded me of, they used to have, and maybe they still do, but they used to have these frozen deep dish, twice baked potato pizzas that were personal size, but 2,000 calories. And one of my sisters would go crazy over them. And, for health reasons, she really needed caloric intake. And I would say that the Uno deep dish potato pizzas are the reason that she's still with us. So thank you, Uno, for saving my family. But the smell was intoxicating. I don't know. And there's a recipe that Brian's mom recently gave me. Her cousin makes this loaded potato casserole, and it tastes just like those Uno Pizzeria deep dish potato pizzas. It's just, I'm assuming cream cheese. At least that's what the recipe I got was, cream cheese and potato. And the Uno Pizzeria ones are great because the crust is so buttery. I mean, it's divine. And I don't think it had a tomato sauce in it, but I think the tomato sauce smell in the house influenced the pizza, made me think of a pizzeria, and just the butter from the Dauphinoise and the potato. It was great. Great smell. I just got Chinese food from, the place next to the food line. Every single food line is next to a Chinese restaurant for some reason. It's always a different one. But that's how it works. And you go to get your groceries and you pick up Chinese food so you don't have to cook. And it's pretty basic. It was basic Chinese food. The Singapore style noodles are those curry noodles, and the noodles are so thin and they just sort of dissolve in your mouth in a nice way. And I didn't eat ice cream that day. What a miracle. And, I don't include water or anything like that, but I will say that I probably had at least 40 ounces of Coke Zero on that Saturday. That was a lot, but I couldn't. When you're eating popcorn, you need that Coke. You need that beverage to go with it. And I'll leave it there. All right. Thanks for listening. Bye.